Hello, it's Tim Wambach again with HandicapThis. I'm in Sheboygan, Wisconsin with Dr. Mike Saatkamp. You know, Mike, your product is called Parenting, Movement, and Nutrition. Why movement?
Well, for me, when Marin was born, 1 pound 13 ounces with
Wow.
quadriplegic cerebral palsy, movement took front and center for me because I knew there were going to be movement problems. Cerebral palsy is in a category of medical diagnoses called movement disorders. And the movement disorders include not only cerebral palsy, but spina bifida, Huntington's disease, Wilson's disease. There's a whole long list of movement disorders that some happen to children and some don't happen till much later in life, like Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's disease, which is also a movement disorder. And so I needed to learn a whole lot about the brain, since the brain is the fundamental organ of our movement. So movement became important to me to study, and so I looked around at, okay, who can I learn about movement from? And Marin, when she was about 2 years old, was getting great physical therapy from the folks that she saw, and I wanted to look around at other things we could do, and we found a woman in California named Anat Banyal.
Oh, great.
Anat Banyal is one of the leading movement teachers in the world. She is an absolute intuitive expert at movement, and we took Marin out there, and she spent about 8 days getting lessons every day from Anat. When we went out there, Marin could speak 6 words. When we left, she could speak 32 words.
Wow.
And her movements were a little bit more smooth and a little bit more coherent. And we'll learn more about the coherence as we talk. But movement is something that can be learned, and our brain is very what's called plastic. The buzzword in the newspapers and on TV these days is neuroplasticity. That's just a new way of saying we can learn. Okay? And one of the things that the brain is learning all the time is, how am I going to move to meet my environment? You know, we're responding to gravity.
Right.
We need to go pick up a pen. We need to put some food in our mouth. We need to coordinate our mouth, tongue, and lips to make words. So we went to Anat to learn about movement, and then 20 years later, Helena and I traveled to meet with Anat, and she gave us a wonderful hour-long talk that is spectacular. One of the best conversations that I've ever had on the subject of movement that I know is relevant to families with special needs kids.
Sure.
Because the kinds of movement disorders that we see, including the movement disorders of our kids with autism and ADHD and ADD, with cerebral palsy, spina bifida, and the whole long list, they affect us. They affect our stress level because we see our kids unable to do what they want to do. And what we learn from Anat is how to remain vital, how to remain enthusiastic, and how to approach learning as a skill to be mastered.
That's great. Thank you, Dr. Mike. I'm Tim Wambach with HandicapThis. Please stay tuned for more information about this groundbreaking special needs product.